to you by the Scott County Public Library. I'm once again your host, Lincoln, here to bring you some movies, both new and old, that you might not have seen within our collection. Today I'm very excited to talk to all of you gumshoe mystery lovers and black comedy lovers. Because today is my first pick, answers a very important question. What happens when all of the Nancy Drews and all of the Hardy Boys of the world grow up and become adults? Well, I'm very excited to tell you that in this new movie from last year, one of my favorites of 2020, The Kid Detective, directed by Evan Morgan, answers that question. Adam Brody plays a struggling private investigator who can't escape his past as a former kid detective. Abe and his detective career peaked very early at the wholesome age of 12, and he's been in a slump ever since. Now at 31, Abe has fallen behind in life and lost the patience of his once adorning little community, as he makes his ends meet through copious amounts of alcohol and kind of solving cases that are kind of meandering and belittling of like middle school and high schoolers. But what haunts Abe the most isn't his unfulfilled potential. It is his failure to solve the mystery of his young receptionist's disappearances all those years ago. When he's tasked with solving a real murder, Abe has a chance to redeem himself and to finally grow up. The mystery itself is very compelling and potent and has some of the best fleshed out characters that we get to live and peek into this world. And Adam Brody gives one of the best performances of his career. This is an existential coming of age story, a tragic neo-noir comedy, and a flawlessly fashioned mystery with masterful tonal shifts, going from sweetly funny to darkly funny to deeply sad. In a way that basically just sums it up in one word: it rules. I love it. I think it's best. I tell anybody to go watch this movie. It came out last year. Next up, I want to head all the way east down to Italy and talk about one of my favorite movies from 1975, the classic Giallo mystery Profondo Rosso, or Deep Red, directed by Dario Argento, now streaming currently on Hoopla. In case some of you don't really know what a Giallo film is, Giallo simply means yellow, and it is just a more extreme kind of crime thriller made in Italy at that time, and it's based off of yellow page crime novels that were popular back in the 60s and 70s. And in 1975, Dario Argento released what many believe, myself included, to be the best and just the representation and culmination of that genre. Now, what makes Giallo so important in Italian films in general at that time, so unique, is that they had mastered the art of dubbing. And basically what that means is for a large chunk of Italian cinema history, it was actually illegal to have movies that had synchronized sound. It goes all the way back to the World War II, during the power of Mussolini himself. He had taken charge of all of the film industry in Italy, and he was basically, there would always be somebody in the booth at the end of the movie during post-production when they are dubbing over the film, because he was so afraid of any sort of propaganda or anti-government talk inside of his films. Then years later, people had just kind of gotten used to the idea of having these films dubbed. So people would go have all these international stars from all over the world come in during the filming and speak all sorts of different languages while they're filming. And then later on in post-production, they would go back in post-production and dub it all over with different voices at the time. It was just amazing and crazy at the same time. Now, Deep Red tells the story of an English pianist named Marcus Daly, played by David Hemmings, who had become embroiled in an investigation after witnessing a murder on a warm summer night stroll. David Hemmings started his career mostly as a child actor and a voice soprano in the English opera group before finding worldwide notoriety with Michelangelo Antonioni's Blow Up from 1966. But by 1975, he had been a faded and washed out star when Argento had found him to become this amateur sleuth trying to solve the murder of his upstairs neighbor. While filming, Argento used every cinematographic trick he knew to create a film that felt increasingly unsettling as you watched. From passing on traditional use of a classic score for an electronic synth by the band named Goblin, which was specifically made for this film, and they had gone actually to make probably 20 to 30 movies after this using that name before they ultimately broke up in the 80s. He also created a point of view shot of the killer that was kind of a floating head effect showing where the killer was at without ever showing who the killer was. Using wide lens interesting angles, plentiful zoom shots, this focus on creating an interesting shots and less on a fully fleshed out plot led to inspiration of countless American filmmakers, most notably John Carpenter when he was making Halloween. In the end, it was a massive financial success, although it wasn't a critical success like Argento wanted. But it sold over 2 million tickets in Italy in that day, which was pretty well off in that time, and had gone on its way to creating a cult following in America. Now, all these films are available at the public library and through Hoopla at this time, and I want you to search them out and decide for yourself whether you like them or not. And you can always find every single episode of Real Talk on YouTube or on Facebook. And you can always check out our website for countless other programs I want you to go and find out for yourself. Now, before we close today's episode, I'm very excited to announce a new summer program for the Real Talk program. I'm very happy about it, and I want you all to be excited about it. And I call it Real Talk Summer School. And basically what Real Talk Summer School is, I have made the syllabus for you all. What you all need to do is watch Real Talk, all the episodes I've made, and all the episodes I'll be making throughout the summer. And each week in the library, starting on June 1st, on that Tuesday, you'll come into the library and we'll have exams in the building at that time. You'll be able to come in, put your answers down and what you think the answer's on based on all the topics I've talked about previously in all my episodes. And throughout the 9 weeks that we do this, you answer enough of the right answers and do enough quizzes, you'll be able to get a certificate of completion. Now, besides having a really sweet certificate of completion of this awesome program, you can also go to the Theater of Georgetown and give them that certificate, and they'll be able to sign it for you for a free popcorn courtesy of the Theaters of Georgetown. Now, at the end of that 9 weeks, if anybody who got that certificate, I will take those names for a drawing. And what that means, I will draw for one person. They'll be able to win not only just a gift basket full of all sorts of popcorn and candy, but also 2 free tickets to the Theater of Georgetown, along with a free popcorn and a drink. You will also get food vouchers also for Gold Star, Penn Station, Taco Bell, Chick-fil-A, and Sonic. And all you have to do is come to the library every single week from June through July, starting on June 1st, to answer these exams to get the certificate for a chance to win this awesome prize. And I'll be Professor Lincoln, showing you each week all of our different movies I'll be talking about, explaining, go through the history of how they're made. I'm so very excited to go on this journey with you, and I can't wait for you to take all these exams and for a chance to win these awesome prizes. This has been Lincoln with Real Talk, here to remind you to watch more movies.